All right, g'day, hi, and welcome. So I got my Fender strings on my Gibson. Sacrilege. Yeah, we'll try them out. These are your typical 10 to 46. It only took me 2 weeks to get to restringing this poor guitar. My circa 2000. I don't know what tuning that is, but it's not a very nice one. This is my SG 61 reissue circa 2007. This is a 61 reissue, not a standard reissue. You can see a different heel joint. It's got the slim taper 60s neck. Unfortunately, this guitar has a few issues with it, but we'll talk. I've talked about that before, so we'll talk about that later. But what a beautiful guitar. Let's have a good look at it. Get some light in here. Look at that. Ain't she beautiful? My favorite guitar pretty much in the whole world. And yeah. So as I was saying, yeah, one of the reasons why they don't make this model as much anymore, they do have it in the custom shop and some of the VOS stuff, but yeah, they're like $12,000 now. Now, mind you, the prices of these things have really skyrocketed. My SG3, I can't believe how much that went up in value. I paid $1,560 before tax. I think $1,800 after tax, something like that Canadian for my SG3. I see them at $4,000 all day. I'll tell you, mine would be worth $4,000, but yeah. Now this one, I still see them around 3,500, 2,500, 3,500, 2,000 on the low side, 1,600 on the extreme low side. I got this, I think, for 1,600 secondhand when they were about 1,900 new back in 2009. And they stopped issuing these around 2011. The main issue with them is that because the body is so much thinner than a regular SG standard, not by a whole bunch, but it is thinner, right? You end up with you don't have enough meat on the tendon into the neck joint, and you get a bowing right about, not a warping or a twisting, but a bowing of the neck forward right about here. So this is where my main issue is with most SG61s. That's what happens to them. Unfortunately, if you're not a big lead player, you can, it's not so bad that you can't deal with it. But if you are a lead player like myself, you know, you got to struggle more to play. So, but yeah, I'm going to leave it like that for now. Just wanted to put the strings on it today. The other things I wanted to do was, you know, just maybe play around with the truss rod. I think I went as far as I can with the truss rod, and I've still got a forward bow on it. So now, mind you, the truss rod is not for down here. Truss rod only works right, you know, the center of the truss rod. So you get your bow back here or relief here. You know, you don't really get anything off the truss rod here. It only works up to here. Any problems you have past here, there's nothing you can really do. Here's where you can adjust it. So say from the 7th fret up to the 1st fret is where you get because that's where the flex point of the truss rod is going to be, right? So, but anyway, is what it is. Still my favorite guitar. But, you know, I've only had it on stage twice, so to speak. Definitely got to get more stage time with this thing. But it's also one of those guitars that it's a valuable enough guitar that you don't really want to be on stage with it. But then again, I don't buy these things to look at them. You know what I mean? If it's a good paying gig, I'd definitely play it live. I mean, there's still lots of life left in this guitar. It's just got to live with the quirks of it. But when they're brand new, it's one of the best playing guitars you'll ever play in your life. People, I don't like Gibson scale. Well, it's easier. You know, like Billy Gibbons said, it's easier. If you're a extreme shredder guy, you might want to look at like Les Pauls and SGs and try them out. You might have to, it takes a little while to get used to going from a 25.5 scale down to a 24 3/4. But once you do, it's like, it's so effortless to play. I got big monkey hands, so if you got really knobby fingers, you might find it a little bit cramped. But once you get used to it, it's just, you can do these crazy, insane stretches and tapping and stuff. They're really, really wonderful guitars to play. The only downside is Gibson hasn't caught on yet that we need modern pickups, not like the 1960s guitar, dad guitar, rocker kind of thing. That sound, yeah, they could still, and PRS is catching the idea where, okay, we need to start throwing some, you know, 4-wired Seymour Duncans and metal pickups in our guitars. And that's why in the metal scene, you're seeing a lot more PRSs than you're seeing, you know, like Les Pauls used to dominate the metal scene. And now you know, like people will go to LTD and ESPs and Elite 2s because those Eclipse Les Paul looking guitars have modern sounding pickups. The Gibson is still stuck in that 1960s guitar sound, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't work for all genres. Like, for example, these are my favorite straight through the amp kind of pickups. These are classic 57s. Fantastic straight through the amp. Extreme high gain, a little bit on the howl. It's the same problem Tony Iommi came to. Now, mind you, I would love how Gibson does make a modern sounding pickup. It's called the 500T. It's the hottest pickup they have and one of the hottest pickups on the market. And I don't know why they don't equip more guitars with it. They use the 490 and the 498, which is similar to the, say, the PRS 85, whatever, 85 16s or 15s or what, 85 15s, whatever it is. They're similar to that, or similar in output to, say, like a Seymour Duncan Burst or Seymour Duncan JB in that. So that's good for rock metal, kind of a good all around, not, about 8,000K, about the same as this, same output as this. So it's good all around. But if you want like that extreme metal sound, these don't quite have it, and they're too muddy to get that much gain on them. So that's the downside to them. But other than that, they're, if you're playing straight through the amp, especially a tubed amp, can't beat them. But this, again, the more classic rock, hard rock sounds that you can get out of it. Other than that, phenomenal. So again, if they could make the same guitar, well, they kind of do. They make the SG Standard, but it'd be nice to have the larger headstock on the SG Standard. These are just ever so slightly larger. I have to put my other SG beside too. Somebody coming here? I may have a guess. So anyway, I'm going to have to leave it at that. But yeah, there we go. Finally got strings on there.